Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about crystal oils. And today I'm wearing I'm wearing 7 necklaces at once. I finally hit my goal. This is exactly of how I wanted it to look. I'm probably going to swap this out. This is garnet. I'm going to swap it out with bloodstone and a bunch of other crystals, but for right now we're going to focus on, and yes, I have more crystals in my hair. These are Lemurian seeds. Yeah, they're just kind of hanging out there. They're kind of big to be hiding, but but basically I'm going to be talking to you more about crystals and crystal oils. So what is a crystal oil? It's the essence of a crystal in an oil. Yeah, it's that simple, but more about crystal oils is that crystals will always be stronger than, let me adjust this. I should have adjusted this before I started this. No blue. I just shoot straight from the hip when I do these videos. I'm like, I'm gonna give you guys this knowledge that it's in my mind that I'm ready to teach you guys, and I'm very happy and excited. So crystal oils are just amazing. Crystal oils are absolutely wonderful because they're not as strong as the crystal, but now you have a crystal in liquid form. Well, where is this gonna apply? How is this gonna apply? Maybe you have black tourmaline, right? You have a bracelet. But maybe that's all you have as a black tourmaline right now, and you need to wear the bracelet, and let's just say you feel like you're under spiritual attack. Well, here's what you do. You take the black tourmaline crystal oil, which I found an alchemy process to be able to make it. It's essentially letting it sit in a very long time. There's a ritualistic way I bless it and activate it, but I put them on my website, floridastoneman.com. But black tourmaline oil, I use a all extra virgin olive oil base. So basically, you'll take the black tourmaline crystal oil and you'll put it on your windows. You'll put it on your doors. You can put a cross. You can put Viking runes, sigils, just anything that's specific to where you live, to your culture, to your background, just anything that you feel is protective. Even you can make 4 crosses on the door and then 1 in the center. So that's kind of like, you can do there's different things you can do. You can take the black tourmaline crystal oil and you can make a spiral, and you go counterclockwise with the spiral, pushing anything that's bad out. There's several things you can do with that, but you'll put this on every single door and window into your home. Maybe you don't want it on the actual window, you'll just put it above. It's just that easy, but now whatever was supposed to be attacking you is kind of like, ugh, what's this wall I'm facing? Like, what is this? Like, in liquid form? So it can't really pass it. So, like I said, the black tourmaline as a crystal is always going to be stronger, but it has the essence of the actual crystal. So let me teach a little more about an example. So let's say, this is a good example. So let's say you have a bow and arrow, right? And you have an arrow. Maybe the arrow is actual crystal. You send it flying, it hits. You can let's just say that the crystal is the bow, and the crystal oil is the arrow. So with the bow, you have unlimited. I don't know how good of an example this came out to be. I'm just gonna keep going with this. So let's just say the crystal oil is unlimited, right? But it's not as strong as the actual bow, because you actually need the bow to fire the arrow. Now, maybe if you don't have your bow, let's just say you have the arrow, you can still do harm with the arrow. If something's trying to attack you, then the bow is always going to be better to have the bow and the arrows, but then you just have the arrows at that. Oh, that actually turned out to be a good example. Okay. But let's say you're trying to attract love into your life, right? Now, you take the rose quartz crystal oil, and maybe you put it on your front door. You're just like, okay, I'm ready to welcome love into my home by helping me love myself and helping me know that I'm the only, like, let's say you live alone. I'm the only person who lives here. I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. I love myself enough to the point where I'm ready to welcome someone else into my life. Maybe I'm not in a rush. I'll just put this on the door, because remember, you can't make anyone fall in love with you. That's not how things work. Make yourself fall in love with yourself, and everyone's gonna love you after that, because people crave love, especially in a relationship. People want someone who is loving. You're not gonna be in a relationship where there's no love and it's gonna last. Nope. I've made a whole video topic on that. So basically, yeah, you can do that with the crystal oil. You can put it on your doorknob, so you welcome the energies of love, because love's at a very specific vibration. let's say, I forgot the exact frequency of, I mean, these different oils have different frequencies associated with them. Rose quartz, for example, it vibrates exactly at a love frequency, a love ray. Very lucky for helping you raise your vibrations when it comes to loving yourself and just feeling the love and just feeling good and just feeling awesome and feeling amazing, and that you don't need anyone to love you. And that's actually how strongly it attracts people to loving you. So you'll take the crystal oil, you put it on your door, do whatever. You can put a heart on the door, whatever. Now let's say you're having trouble loving yourself, right? You look in the mirror and you're like, ah, and like you're not happy with the way you look, and you're not happy with your appearance. So what you do is you can actually wipe the crystal oil like a tiny bit on the napkin and clean the mirror with it. Don't put too much or it's gonna leave streaks all over the mirror. A tiny bit in like a spray bottle, and guess what? When you look at that mirror from now on, you're more likely to be like, okay, I feel more comfortable with myself. Exactly that. Let's say you go gambling and you're wearing the aventurine, but an extension would be nice of the aventurine. Remember the bow and the arrow example? That awesome example I just came up on here that I just kind of pieced together that perfectly fit to help me explain crystals and crystal oils. So you're wearing the aventurine, you're like, I would like this aventurine to do a little more. I would like some more arrows for this bow. I really like that example. So you take the aventurine crystal oil. After you're wearing the aventurine, you put it on your hands. You go to play anything at the casino, maybe your scratch off tickets, and you just start getting lucky. Remember, your vibration has to be high for you to be able to win. I made videos on that as well. It's actually not that hard to win the lottery at all. It's all a vibrational thing. It's a law of mathematics. It's just a whole different, that's a whole different video. It's actually not that hard to win the lottery. Look at the testimonies on TikTok that I have of helping people win. It's really easy, but aventurine's a crystal of just sheer luck. It helps you be freakishly lucky. I have a whole double terminated point of an aventurine. It's one of the most fertile, abundant energies ever for a crystal. As a crystal oil, maybe you're just wearing a crystal bracelet. Maybe you don't have like just blocks of aventurine, because I have blocks just sitting around too, because it's good energy. It's heart chakra energy. It's a healing energy. But maybe you don't have those blocks everywhere. Now you can put some of the oils maybe on your walls, maybe on like your car. That's, for example, you're worried about just you maybe had a bad feeling about when you're driving. You get out of the car, you put some black tourmaline on the wheels of your car or of the rims, and now you're driving. You feel better when you're driving. You feel more safe. There's endless amount of possibilities that you can do with these crystal oils. You can put a drop into a candle. I'm gonna make a video on that too. You have to be very careful with that, because you don't want to do it incorrectly. So don't do that until further instructions, or until I make another video on that, because you have to do it very carefully, or if you're at a low vibration, you'll attract things that you don't want coming to you. So that's so many different things. Don't consume these crystal oils. Don't. Especially if you haven't worked past the crystal's energies, don't consume the crystal oils. Even though there's no trace of the actual crystal in the oil, you can have a malachite crystal oil. There's a way to actually make a malachite crystal oil, because malachite's toxic and poisonous, but if you do it correctly and you know the actual spiritual science of it, then you can easily make a malachite crystal oil, which I do have on my website. Crystal oils are not that expensive. They're very, very inexpensive. It's only at $55 for the lowest crystal oil. And some of the crystal oils like Time Stone, because I've gotten out of the shower and I put what I call Time Stone. It's basically a tektite that helps slow down time. And I just felt at complete ease. I felt very good. You can use a Moldavite crystal oil. From experience, it only works when it's gifted to you. Sometimes it'll work and then it'll stop working because it did what it did. But remember how I said the crystal's always stronger. The actual crystal will always be stronger. The bow, the arrows. Crystal oils are fiercely powerful. They are very strong. Especially when you have a combination of certain crystals. Like if you're trying to make like for example, a protection crystal oil recipe is black tourmaline, black obsidian, black jetstone, black hypersthene, onyx, if you can use onyx correctly. If you make an onyx crystal oil correctly, that's not going to be fun. But let's just say you have these crystal oils come together. Now you have vicious protection against darkness. You have a vicious protection against people sending you bad energy. When I started wearing crystal oils, woo, people's faces, it's very noticeable when you're wearing crystals and then people mid-conversation, or like when someone's approaching you, it looks like they just hit an invisible wall. it looks like something hit them in the face with a pan, and you know whatever they were about to say wasn't good, and it didn't need to be coming out. It wasn't nice. It wasn't their, maybe their light disguised as, darkness disguised as light, because that's very common. That is very common, but these crystal oils are super powerful. I'm not sure what other people are doing online with their crystal oil recipes. You don't need the actual crystal in the bottle. It looks pretty. It's not, I believe it can be kind of counterproductive. It's kind of like, okay, you're using the crystal oil in the bottle, and then, because when you have the crystal, there's a whole alchemy to it that I figured out over the course of years. But when you have the crystal oil in the bottle, then you're going to want to be cleansing and charging the crystal oil in the bottle. But when you just have the crystal oil, you don't have to cleanse and charge it the same. It's very easy. It's very simple. These crystal oils are very, very easy to use. Some of you won't have too much effects with the crystal oils, maybe because you're already used to the crystal's energy, or maybe that's not what you need, or just, it doesn't really matter. These crystal oils are very powerful. They're always working. They're always, there's cool things you could do with crystal oils that you can't really do with a crystal. And remember, the crystal is the body. So let's say, oh, what if, and I had to come up with some kind of scenarios in my head, because someone's going to come up with the scenarios eventually, like, oh, what if black tourmaline absorbs negative energy? Now I'm wearing a black tourmaline crystal oil. Am I going to absorb negative energy? No, you're not going to absorb negative energy. Basically how it works is, this is a good example. What is the thing called? There's like a nut in Africa. So it basically absorbs negative energy when something is thrown at the nut. But when you use the oil of the nut, it actually just repels negative energy, because the oil is not going to absorb it, because the nut is actually a body. The crystal is a body, like the bow and the arrow example I used. And you're not going to absorb the negative energy. That's just not going to happen. You're not going to become black tourmaline. If you become black tourmaline, then you just turn into a crystal, which I haven't turned into a full crystal yet, but I'll let you guys know if I turn into a crystal. I might just be like black tourmaline man, I'm kidding. For me to be an artist and have the most outlandish jewelry and all the different designs, I have to have just completely think outlandish things that people think are absolutely crazy until I come up with just different designs. So people, remember I said to someone, oh, I might come up with a tail, and they just kind of walked away. I thought that was hilarious. But now the tail actually developed into a crystal belt, and now I have crystal belts. They're all underneath my clothes. I don't really show them too often. I kind of like them hidden and concealed under the clothes. But back to crystal oils. Crystal oils are very easy to use. It's very simple. The crystal itself will always be stronger than the crystal oil. I have beautiful crystal oils on my website. They've been sitting for a very long time before I make them and sell them. Like I said, I have a whole alchemy process, but when you get one of my crystal oils, it's different from the actual crystal. The actual crystal will always be stronger, but the crystal oil is like, ooh, I can use this on my front door. Oh wait, I can use this in my what about green aventurine oil in on a scratch stick? Like, it gets better and better. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment sections. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Ciao.